Welcome to Fit and Bold, where we promote healthy lifestyles. I'm your host, Lakita Goins. On average, someone in America suffers a stroke every 40 seconds. According to the American Stroke Association, more than 137 Americans die from strokes each year. Why is this important? Well, stroke is the number 4 cause of death in the United States. Today, we're going to learn about recognizing the signs of stroke. We're also going to learn about ways to prevent them. We're going to pack a lot of information in today, so we have Dr. Bird here from the UAMS Area Health Education Center to talk with us. How are you today, doctor?
Doing good, doing good.
Okay, I want to start from the basics. What is a stroke, and are there different types of stroke?
Okay, well, essentially what a stroke is it's a loss of blood flow to a certain part of your brain. As far as the different types of stroke, there's what some people call a mini stroke or a transient ischemic attack, also called a TIA. That usually only lasts for about 24 hours. It can be relatively quick, 1 to 2 hours. As far as your severe stroke, the cerebral vascular accident, those can be caused by ischemia, by an intracranial bleed, and also a subarachnoid bleed.
Okay, is one type more common than the other?
Usually the ischemic stroke is the most common type of stroke, which is just an occlusion of the blood vessels that supply the brain. Subarachnoid hemorrhages and intracranial bleeds, I think they make up maybe 10 and 3% respectively, but ischemic's about 87%.
Okay, so risk helps us understand a lot. So who is at risk for stroke?
The highest risk is usually with Hispanic and Black males greater than 40 years of age. They're actually twice as likely to have a stroke compared to white males in the same age group. Okay. Other risk factors include age, gender, past medical history of high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and I believe also, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Are men more likely than women to have strokes?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure. I think males are actually a little bit more likely than women, because they do have a higher rate of high blood pressure and heart disease.
Okay, so I want to talk about signs of stroke. I've been hearing these PSAs on the radio in the morning, and they're reading sentences backwards and jumbling the words up. So can you talk to us about what signs do we see when someone's having a stroke?
Well, usually we like to use the acronym FAST. Okay. It's a face, arm, speech, and time. Usually people that experience a stroke will have an inability to speak well. They might have drooping on one side of their face or the other. And then they also have trouble moving their arms or their legs. Some people come in thinking that a generalized weakness, it could lead to a diagnosis of a stroke, but usually it's on one side or the other. Okay. They can't move their right and their left hand, or their right and their right arm and their left leg, as opposed to.
So someone else can visibly see maybe their face drooping if they had that.
Either they will see it. You can't see your own face, so usually somebody else notices it. The patients will notice the aphasia or the inability to speak well, because they will actually know what they want to say, but they just can't get the words out because of the brain damage. Okay.
So what should our audience do if they're with someone and then they notice things like you just described? What should they do?
Well, they need to call medical professionals immediately. There is a time limit for what we can do with a stroke. If a patient gets to the hospital within 3 hours of initial symptoms, we actually have some medical options that could possibly completely reverse the symptoms of the stroke. Okay. Past that, usually the therapy is about the same, and recovery is still possible, but it's better if we can try to get there within the first 3 hours.
Okay, so I've heard that some people that suffer many strokes, that is really foretelling that you're about to have a larger stroke. Is this true?
That is true, because essentially a mini stroke is caused by the same problems that cause a larger stroke.
Okay.
It's just that it's temporary.
Oh,
You'll
okay.
you'll have maybe a partial occlusion, and then on top of that, you'll have vasospasms where the vessels will actually open and close, for a moment,
Okay.
decreases the blood flow to the area, but then eventually it'll open back up and your symptoms will resolve.
Okay, so do you have the same symptoms with mini strokes?
You do. You do have the
Okay.
same symptoms, but like I said earlier, at max it might last for 24, 48 hours, but usually the symptoms will resolve within the first or second hour of you noticing them.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about treatment of strokes if people get in early. What if people don't get in early? What can happen?
Um, it's just a matter of how much function you get back to. Uh, like I was saying earlier, with we call it like a hemiplegia, where you can't move your right arm and your right leg. In certain instances, if they don't get there in time, you might not ever be able to move those limbs again,
Okay.
or the aphasia might become persistent.
So if people lose function in a limb,
hmm
if they catch it early enough, can they go through some kind of physical rehab to get some function back? How does treatment work?
Usually, all our stroke patients receive physical therapy. We do our initial treatment, whether that be TPA or anticoagulation, or in certain instances craniotomy. But after that initial therapy, when we're starting the recovery process, all of our patients actually referred over to the physical therapist and occupational therapist.
Okay.
And then we also do speech therapy, where they're evaluated for how well they can swallow, see if we need to modify their diet, stuff like that.
So I want to ask about this because I know you mentioned age earlier as some of the risk factors. So I've known some people in their 50s or 60s to have strokes, but I've also known teenagers and young children. Is it common for younger people to have strokes?
No, not really. It's usually due to congenital, or you're born with some abnormality or malformation that predisposes you to having a stroke.
Okay. So talk to our audience for a moment about what can they do to prevent strokes.
Okay. Well, the main thing is having regular checkup at your clinic, especially after the age of 30. It's important to have screenings for high blood pressure, diabetes, and then also obesity. Diet, exercise are very important for preventing the predisposing factors, which will help to prevent you from developing an actual stroke.
All right, so we need to live healthy lives, and we need to go to the doctor, and we need to get checked out sometime.
Pretty much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Burr, for coming on and talking to our audience today, because we want people to get more involved in their health and to get active and to be aware of what's going on.
Exactly.
So
yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, audience, stay tuned, because when we return, we're going to be doing our Fit and Bold Healthy Recipe Pick.
Your life is an open book. At the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, you can take advantage of scholarship opportunities and acclaimed academics with undergraduate and graduate programs tailored to achieve your plans. Learn from dedicated faculty and be challenged to reach your full potential. Get involved in campus life with student activities that add value to your character and give distinction to your collegiate experience. Become a part of the Golden Lion story at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, where you'll be proud to be.
Welcome home, man.
Welcome back to Fit and Bold. Today, we've been talking about strokes. Now it's time for our Fit and Bold healthy recipe pick. Remember to always consult with your doctor before trying any new recipe, especially if you've had a stroke. Then you really need to consult with your physician and nutritionist to come up with the meal plan that's best for you. Today's Fit and Bold healthy recipe pick is pita breakfast sandwich. So, for this recipe, your ingredient list at the grocery store will be: you need 1 or 2 brown eggs, a half teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 wheat pita bread. Now, I did say salt, but I actually used garlic powder because hypertension a lot of times leads to stroke, and so you want to go on low sodium diets, as we talked about before, the DASH method when we talked about hypertension. So what you want to do first, or first I want to talk about why I picked some of these ingredients. Now in the eggs, I used the garlic powder. Again, it was a substitute for salt. And then I used black pepper. At one time, black pepper was so valuable that it was used as money. And why? Because black pepper stimulates your taste buds, which increases the acid in your stomach, which helps in digestion. So it's actually a good thing. Also, it can break up congestion during the winter months, or when the weather's changing a lot, you get congested. You can put some extra black pepper on your food and it can help break that down. Also, it can stop bleeding on minor cuts, keyword minor, and it acts as an antibacterial, so it can do mild sterilization. And also, I chose the eggs because we want to avoid trans fats, and eggs have high calories, but they are also the good kind of fat, and they're the kind that you use for energy instead of storing itself. And I used wheat pita bread because if you suffered a stroke or you have hypertension problems, you want to avoid some of the heavier baked breads that you can find in grocery stores. So I actually found a wheat pita bread, and it's actually a honey flavor, so it gives a little extra kick to the taste. The first thing you want to do is you want to take your pita bread, slice it in half, and then you want to take a knife and cut it so that it goes this way and forms a pocket. Now, I found the bread that was already pre-sliced. You can find it pre-sliced or you can do it yourself. It's really the same cost. There's no additional savings there. Then you want to put it on a plate or a paper towel, pop it in the microwave for about 15 seconds just to get it a little warm and a little pliable. Then you want to take your 1 or 2 brown eggs. It depends on how heavy your appetite is. You want to go ahead and coat your pan. I used a vegetable-based cooking spray so that I could use as minimal spray as possible. And you just want to scramble it. You want to let them set and start to scramble it. You want to add your garlic powder and your black pepper at that time. Once you get a good firm consistency to get it to your liking, you're going to get your pita bread out of the microwave. You're going to open it up so that your pocket is easily showing. You want to scoop your eggs into your pita bread. And this is going to make the sandwich. Now, if some of you have a healthier appetites or just, I love a good egg sandwich, but some people have to have some meat, you can also do a good turkey bacon. And you can even cook that, believe it or not, in the microwave. And you can put it on some paper towels or something to soak up some extra grease that can be released during the cooking process. But for stroke patients, typically you do want to avoid pre-processed meats because a lot of times it's just not good for you. A lot of stroke patients also come from heart conditions. So if you want to, and you can see the egg inside this pocket. If you want to, we know that colorful fruits and vegetables are good. You can always cut up some tomatoes and throw it in there, or bell peppers, or you can even cook them while you're cooking the egg. If you want to, you can add a little bit of cheese, but not too much. Maybe you can find a low-fat cheese so that you don't get so much sodium intake. But once you're done, you're ready to eat because it's such a quick meal. And you can eat this for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And once you're ready to eat, I'm just going to take a taste. And that's really good. I can taste the honey in the bread, and it's a quick meal. And for stroke patients, don't forget, if you have higher calorie meals, you want to eat those earlier in the day when your energy is at its highest. Later in the day, you may want to do lighter snacks. And this is a pretty light snack, totaling in the pita bread at 50 calories for the half slice, 100 for the whole on the wheat side. And the eggs coming in at about 200, depending on the size of the egg. So you're looking at about 250 to 300 calories at worst, and you have a healthy meal, something to get you full. When we return, we're going to be exercising, and remember, exercise is good for everyone, so stay tuned.
Four years ago, I went through something that was very difficult for me. I was faced with a very big challenge at a young age. I didn't want to tell my parents. I really didn't want to tell anybody, and I didn't. I shut down. Once I reached out to my sister, it got a little better. Once I told my mother, it got a little better. The more I talked about it, I felt it coming off. If you're strong enough to just open your mouth, that's all it takes.
Hi, I'm Terry Williams. Can I tell you that it is way past time for us to come face to face with the issue of mental illness in the Black community? Time for us to stop hiding it behind closed doors. Share ourselves. Healing starts with us.
In the event of a car crash, 3 out of 4 kids are not as secure as they should be because their car seats are not used correctly. But the latch system makes it easier to get it right and to hold your kids tight. Anchor, tether, latch. Learn more at safercar.gov.
Welcome back to Fit and Bold. Today we've been learning about stroke. Everyone can exercise, but if you've had a stroke, you need to consult with your doctor or physician before embarking upon any new exercise regimen. But we're here today with the 2012 SWAC champions, and they're going to teach us about exercise. So will you introduce yourself and tell us your name and classification, your major?
My name is Kivas Robinson. I'm a freshman, and I'm majoring in kinesiology.
Okay.
Cody Swain. I'm a freshman, and I major in history.
All right, it sounds good, guys. So tell me what you're going to have us do today.
Today we're going to do some arm rotations, some side lunges, and some sit-ups.
Okay, it sounds like something everybody can do at home. So audience, let's get ready to exercise. Okay, Cody, so show us what we're going to be doing first today.
All right, today we're going to start off with some arm rotations. And you're just going to rotate your arms forward.
Okay.
Like that. And we got 2 sets of 10.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
On the second set, we're going to go backwards.
Okay.
All right.
Ready, audience?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so what's next on our exercise list?
We got our common sit-up. You're just gonna lay down and come up.
Okay, so give us an example of one.
Oh. You're gonna lay down, come all the way up, and that's 1.
All right.
All right, you got 2 sets of 10.
Okay.
All right.
10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay.
We'll take a little break and then get our second set.
Okay. All right. I'm ready. So the audience can take as long a break as they need to.
All right. We're going to get right back into it.
All right.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay, so what do you have for us next?
We're gonna finish it up with some bend and reaches.
Okay, now show us what this is.
You're gonna squat down, touch your toes, and jump up in the air. That'll be 1. We got 2 sets of 5.
Okay, I can handle that.
All right, all
Let's
right.
go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, I'm feeling it.
We're gonna pull these last 5 out.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
All right. So do you have anything else for us today?
You can always do any kind of exercise, sit-ups, anything we did today.
All right. It sounds good because I'm feeling it. I'm a little breathy, and I'm sure if our audience has been working out with us at home, they're feeling it too. Thank you guys for helping us work out today.
You're welcome.
That was a great workout. And everybody can work out at home. Remember that strokes a lot of times are caused by underlying heart conditions or high blood pressure, so we have to work out to get fit. We worked out today with SWAC champions, but we want you to know that you don't have to be a SWAC champion to get healthy and get fit. All you need to do is make a decision, figure out why working out, eating healthier, and being aware is important to you. Once you figure this out, you can jump straight into your lifestyle journey. Remember, when you start exercising, to take your time and work your way up to what you feel comfortable doing. And trust me, as you continue to exercise, you'll feel more comfortable doing more workouts. So get into your healthy journey, get fit, and be bold.